everyone. Welcome to the wonderful session we have today, and we have wonderful topic as well. And our guest is Dr. Kamaljeet Kaur. If I start talking about her, she is multi-talented. She is an entrepreneur. She is law consultant. She is a financial advisor. She is an educationist, and she is a corporate trainer as well. If I keep on saying, it will be endless. So our wonderful guest is going to talk about self-sympathy. Wonderful topic for all of us, for our audience. So before wasting much time, let's welcome our guest, Dr. Kamaljeet Kaur.
Thank you, Meenu. I am actually very excited to be here to understand what you have for me here, and maybe I will share my views on what I mean by self-sympathy.
Okay, so can you start just with your introduction, because I just want to know that what's your interest area. Like, I can list down so many things for you, but I want to know that in which area or on which special thing you are more interested.
Okay. So as far as in short introduction about myself is concerned, professionally, I would say I am a strategic end-to-end corporate legal and HR professional having 2 decades experience in growth-oriented industries. As far as personal life is concerned, I would say I am a rebellious daughter and a very naughty wife and a childish mother and a childish daughter-in-law too, because my mother-in-law really takes care of me like a child. So this is my definition as far as personal this thing is concerned. And if you want to ask me as a human being, I would say that I am a person who is a student for life. And that's why you might get confused by my sort of LinkedIn profile, where lot of degrees appeared and lot of experience appeared, because what I felt is that if I'm doing something, I should have the technical knowledge of that particular thing. So I was always very proactive. So if anything came to my way, I ensured that I do that thing with proper technical knowledge. So I learned so many things just to equip myself to understand that particular skill set in a better way. Thank you.
Wow, great. It's not about just degrees and whatever certificates you have achieved in your career or in your life, but you have inculcated all those things in your behavior as well. That we could see, whoever knows you can see that you have that kind of leadership skills as well. Great. Wonderful to have you here. So let's come to the topic. As today's topic is self-sympathy, so we would like to know that, what do you mean by self-sympathy?
Well, self-sympathy is all about being too kind to yourself. Okay, so if we try to understand what sympathy is the perception, understanding, and reaction to the distress which we face in life. So this is usually always taken in perspective of other person, that please give this person sympathy and all that. But so many times we keep on sympathizing with ourselves. Like if we achieve failure, we will say, oh, the grapes were sour and that's why it happened. So sometimes I feel most of the people who are not able to achieve things in life, or they make those excuses, it is because of self-sympathy. And I firmly believe that we should control self-sympathizing ourselves.
So have you ever been to that mode, self-sympathizing mode?
Well, in the beginning of my career, no, nobody felt that way. Even I didn't feel that way. But yes, when I went through a medical condition where I was very near to death and all that, for some period, everybody was sympathizing with myself, and I started feeling the same for myself. And believe me, it led to depression and other things, because a person who is used to too much of work, when you are asking that person to sleep for, like, sleep, take rest and all that, so how do you justify that rest? So I also started telling myself that, okay, I'm ill, I need to take rest. But your body needs only like 10 to 12 hours of rest. If your rest goes beyond that, then it can lead to trouble. And that time I really started understanding what exactly I am trying to do to myself, and came out of it good. I came out of it in a very short time.
Oh, great. So, how someone will come to know that he or she is in a self sympathizing mode? Is there any way, or it's a self realization? What would you say?
No, usually the first indication is when somebody else tries to say that, I think you had enough rest. Or when somebody is like, if you take a career break and somebody says that, how about joining back? And these kind of indications really show that it's high time that you start, coming out of your self-sympathizing mode. There are many such indications. You will yourself get that indication also, because it starts pinching you from various angles. And when you are trying to give excuses, it is the right time for you to understand that you are sympathizing yourself. Well, nobody expects you that, okay, somebody dies in your family and it is the third day, and nobody expects you to attend to work that time. But if it is already 15 days, it's high time you join back. So these are the certain indications where, your HR will also tell you, or if you are into business, when your client tell you that how many days are you going to mourn, like your somebody passed away in your family, close relative, people can understand. But if you prolong it beyond a particular point of time, people start provoking you that it's high time you get back to work. And these are the signs of you over sympathizing yourself.
Okay.
In fact, I'm writing a book on this precise topic. Let me tell you, sympathy, especially self-sympathy, may appear very simple. That it's okay to take care of yourself and all that. Taking care of yourself is a completely different thing. I take care of myself all the times. I love myself all the time. I don't exert all the time. I ensure that I am at ease. Over sympathize. What does this mean? That if I'm into grief, I don't prolong the grief. So my book, which I am trying to write, is all about how many days you should give for a particular grief. Like, you have a breakup with your boyfriend. So how many days should you cry about that particular incident? Or your dog passed away. So how many days you should spend in that particular grief? Or you failed in a particular exam. How many days are you going to talk about it? How about going and filling up the exam form again and start the preparations? Because your sympathizing yourself is not going to work. People are not interested in those ones. It can gain you sympathy for a small time, but after that, people are not interested in knowing your failures. They are interested in knowing your success stories. Over sympathizing yourself will lead to failure. It will take you away. It prolongs the time for you to achieve your success.
Right. So, how can you differentiate self-love and self-sympathizing or self-sympathy?
The way I told you, I love myself, so I take care of my well-being. I do my exercise, everything. So this is self-love. Self-love is taking care of yourself. But there's a thin line between sympathizing and self-love. Sometimes, while when you say that, okay, didn't prepare for a particular topic or anything like that, and then I give you justification. Oh, me, no, I was so busy today. I didn't get time to understand how do I respond to your topic. So you will start wondering, it was a topic given by her, not me, and there is no preparation required for something which is your own topic. Why do you have to prepare for that? So these are excuses, these are tactics to gain sympathy. So never do that. I cannot tell you that I had a bad childhood. It's over. My childhood got over long time back. So telling all those things, and so many times we do that with our kids too. We keep on telling them our childhood problems. Why are you going to why are you going to burden them with your childhood problems? It was bad, whatever it was, it's over. So you cannot, people try to tell their children in such a way, these things actually lead to blunder. So self-love is, taking care of yourself in the present circumstances in a good way. Self-pitying is, clinging to some old stories, old memories, old mishaps, which are over long time back, but you are trying to use it to your advantage by telling those things. Like if I keep you on telling about my medical issue, which got over long time back, let me tell you, I'm far, far more healthy than I used to be because of the treatment which I got. So if I still tell you that I suffered from a particular medical condition, or, if I tell you I'm a cancer survivor, your view of looking at me will change, definitely change. But it's like gaining that sympathy. It's not required.
Right.
So,
Yes.
and let me tell you, many people in the world are trying to use that sympathy for getting attention. And I think it is not required.
Yes. Those experience you can use to inspire someone, to give them some logic that, okay, if I can do it, you can also do it. Like
Yes.
you said, I'm not very sure that you are cancer survived or what, but I'm just saying that
Yes, yes.
saying this,
So,
you can giving example to people that, okay, what if I was having cancer, but I overcome and now I'm more than fitter than that time.
yes, so it is a fact, but I don't want to highlight it because the moment I say that, then people look at me in a very, somebody wanted me, my story to be included. Didn't want it to be there. So I said, see, I have decided what I should be projecting and what I shouldn't be projecting. When I was in midst of that medical condition, I definitely wanted to write about it when I was in midst of that. But when I overcame it, I never ever even want to think about it because those were the worst memories of my life. I just want them to be pruned, taken out of my life, and then think, oh, everything had been so nice till date.
Great. So what I understood that people should take advantage of their own experience for giving example to encourage somebody, not for taking sympathy. Like, oh, I had such a bad childhood, or I had such a bad day. I am so tired. I didn't get time. I mean, kind of excuses people keep giving.
Yeah, so see, let me tell you, it's not just about getting sympathy from the other person. That is, like, I would say 99% of the people don't even care. They don't even give sympathy. It is too difficult in this world to get sympathy also these days, because you get so many calls that so and so is having some child is having a kidney requirement, please give donation, when we say that sorry, I'm busy, and you disconnect the phone. So you can understand how if people are taking uh, thinking about sympathy these days. So people don't give sympathy, that is for sure. But how it has an ill effect on yourself, look at that. Because when you start thinking yourself as a victim, your brain will start thinking negative. And that is the root of all the problem. Then you will say that, yes, everything bad happens because my health is bad. Then you will say that, yes, everything bad happens because I don't have money. So you go in a deep well of thinking negative. So it is the root. The moment you start self-sympathizing, you will keep on thinking bad. You are trying to justify all the bad things that are happening to something in the past, which is actually having no correlation. But you will keep on relating everything to the past. New company, everything is good, but something your boss says that, look, you have to complete this task today itself. So you come home and your husband says, nothing doing, we are expecting some guests and we have to prepare dinner, and they want homemade food. And you start cursing everything. That, look, this is what happens. I get this opportunity to prove myself to my husband, to spend time in doing this thing, but my husband, he's so self-centered. He wants me to attend to the guests and all that. So instead of that, how about looking at it this way, that okay, 3 hours I'm going to enjoy making cooking, which I like doing. I make the best of my food. I get lot of appreciation from the guests also. And my husband says that she had this assignment to do, but still she made this and all that. I have a very supporting wife. He is also praising you. Then after that, you do the assignment, and next day you tell your boss also, I had unexpected guests, but I still made this food. You also take something from that to your boss, that I had made biryani yesterday. And then everybody looks at you in a very, very positive frame of mind. Said, oh, this is a lovely lady who is, who, then he would even say that, no, it was not that urgent. You could have done it. You could have taken one more day. So sometimes instead of reacting and not doing anything, it is better that we do everything and get appreciation for each and everything. So instead of saying no, or instead of reacting before actually experiencing all those things, we start self-sympathizing and we start saying that I am not going to get anything in life because I don't have this, that, and all that. So it's all about looking at the glass as half empty. Because there's the story of a boy who was crying because he didn't had any shoes, but then he met a person who didn't have feet. So it's all about looking your life in that perspective. We are really very, very lucky. When I look at myself, I would say I'm very, very lucky compared to many other people. Why? The first luckiest thing which has happened in my life is I was born in Maharashtra. Then I was brought up in Pune, a very nice city. So I would say that itself is a wonderful thing, isn't it?
Yes,
There are places in this world where people are dying without it. So if you are born in a safe part of the world, that itself is a great thing which God has done for you, because God had that option of, placing me anywhere in the world, maybe in some mine affected Afghanistan to anywhere in the world. So if I'm
yes,
born in a safe place, that itself is such a great opportunity. So we have to see whether to count our opportunities and blessings, or to count our like, okay, these are my problems and all that. So it's all about you, whether what you want to count in life. I think I would prefer to count my blessings.
gratitude.
Yes.
So my next question is that why do people actually do that self-sympathy? Why? There would be some reason, or there would be some minds.
Yes,
They
yes.
go into self-sympathy because they are.
Self-sympathy starts right from our childhood. You see that your sister cried and she got that chocolate. or you see your friend, he told the teacher that there was some mishap in the family and his homework was overlooked. So we keep on seeing all these things, the benefits of seeking self sympathy, and then it becomes a habit. We see that people benefit out of it, so it becomes a habit. There are very few people who would actually face adversities in life, overcome it, and you can see all the heroes, so-called heroes, all so-called most successful people in the world, they had lot of adversities compared to people like us, I would say. And since they had lot of adversities, they looked at those adversities as opportunities. They overcame it. The more the risk you take, the more is the advantage. The more you are in your comfort zone, you will make less money, as well as you will get less success. I would say it's all about going out of your comfort zone, taking those risks, facing those adversities, and then only you will make a name for yourself. Tell me one person who hasn't done anything and is famous
I have no
for
idea.
not doing anything.
No idea at
So
all.
there is no such person. You will always appreciate a person who did something difficult, who faced adversities, who did sympathize with himself. So, right from Malala to any other person, they did something very, very risky, dangerous, which was not done by others. And that's why they could make a name for themselves. So, you cannot do that if you are trying to seek sympathy. People will definitely sympathize with your past, that oh, she had this past and all that, but she is not doing that for sympathy. She doesn't sympathize with her situation. She thought, yes, this is a fact of life and I have to fight it, overcome it, and now you can see that she is living a different life. So same is the condition with any other person. Prakash Baba Amte had the option of becoming a doctor and earning good money in Mumbai or Nagpur. But instead of that, he chose those jungles, forests, and lived such a life of meager sources where the tribals were not giving him any money. Forget about money, they were threatening him that why are you here? But then he did all those things, and that's why he is recognized, he's known. And he never sought sympathy for anything that, look, I'm working in this jungle, so help me. No, he did all that because of his love for tribals.
Right, right, right. So we should
So
always
you should make it a passion rather.
we should focus on solutions rather than problems, right?
Exactly. Self sympathy is just one of the methodologies by which we try to excuse ourselves from uh, achieving greater things in life. I am an advocate of suffocating your excuses. And in that, I have one topic which is self sympathy. And I think it takes a lot of time for me to help people to come out of it. Because some people love so much, it is very, very difficult for me. And they start thinking that I am not an empathetic person. And I'm telling them that, look, I heard your story 10 times. Come out of it. No more of those stories. Now we have to face the reality. It's past. Let's see at the future. So you cannot take shelter behind your past, saying that, okay, I didn't have good resources, I didn't have good education, I studied in Marathi medium, also local medium. My first encounter in life was in 11th standard. I had a professor of English who spoke excellent English. He was a Konkani person, so he looked like a Britisher because of his fair complexion and all that. And when I asked him that, is he a British citizen? So he said, no, I am from a very small school of Latur and I had failed in 10th standard in English. But then I decided that I will make English my strength. To such an extent that I did my PhD in English. So there are people like him who, despite failing in a very crucial year of their life, instead of leaving that subject, many people will never touch that subject. If you fail in a particular subject in your crucial year, you never touch that subject. But this person made his career in that subject. So there are people like him who inspired me to say that, okay, like taxation, I had poor marks in taxation when I did my CS, but though I passed and I was not required to appear for the same subject again, but then I made it my strongest subject. And instead of hating that subject, I started loving it more. That why can't I understand you? So I started understanding that subject to such an extent that till date it is one of my favorite subjects.
Wow.
So,
Right.
when you fail or you don't understand something in your first attempt, don't hate it. You start loving it to such an extent, start knowing that thing to such an extent that it becomes your strength instead of your weakness.
So, what would you suggest that if people are that in that mode, that self-sympathy mode, so how or what should they do to come over it?
See, what happens is that we should seek help wherever required. And first of all, you should start telling yourself. I always say that you should do a mirror exercise in the morning where you tell yourself, I'm the strongest person. And if somebody has said that you are ugly, say that I'm the most beautiful person in the world. So this should be your self-talk. Instead of saying, oh, I'm so weak and my English is poor and all that. Rather than telling that to yourself, you should say that I'm going to practice 10 minutes of English speaking. This is how English was taught to us when we were young. Our teacher used to say, take out a paragraph from the newspaper and learn it and say that in front of the mirror and with all your expressions and all that. So that was the way we learned English. So because we didn't have any English speaking person at home, our parents never spoke English. We had our local language being spoken at home. So we started learning it in that fashion. I would say you should express gratitude to yourself in such a way that I'm thankful for the life around me and all that. It takes away sympathy in 1 minute because you are thanking for your life to God. That means your life is good. So when you say that, you will not remember your bad memories. And let me tell you, the way we have Alt Control Delete in computer, we have a Alt Control Delete button in our life too. But we don't know that it exists. Oh, it exists. Friends, please use the Alt Control Delete button on a daily basis. Whatever bad memories you have, Alt Control Delete. Forget it, eliminate it completely. If the same person meets you next day, smile, even if he has insulted you badly just a day before. When you do that, you overcome all that negative energy in a minute. Do that on a daily basis. Forgive that person, forgive that, and forget that incident. Also, you should inculcate a lot of good hobbies. What happens is people go in their boredom. I know that when she angry, she used to go in a room. And when she used to go there, she used to meditate and then she used to calm down. So similarly, I would say that hobbies are one such room. If you paint or you sing, do such things and it will take you out of that particular bad moment and all that. Immediately switch over to something you like whenever you experience any bad moment. Delete all those bad moments on a daily basis. One very important tip is, like, if there is somebody who actually scares you, like you have a boss, your in-laws, some such person. So instead of getting scared, switch over to expectation that this person behaves like this. So you should look out for that when she will shout at me, when she will shout at me. When you start expecting, you will find that the incidents will start reducing, because you know that what we expect we don't get. So instead of getting away from it, start expecting. And when you start expecting, you should say, okay, on a daily basis, she scolds or he scolds me 3 times or 5 times or 10 times. So you should start making those tally marks. So how many times has he scolded me yet? Okay, only 3 times. So, and you can even share this information with your boss or your in-laws and all. Today you scolded me only 3 times. And let me tell you, that person will start working on that, because he will start feeling awkward when you communicate that. The most important thing is be shameless. It's difficult. You need practice, but the more and more you helps you reduce. The root cause of all problem is our ego. So when you become shameless, your ego is already gone. So try working on becoming shameless. What happens is we are too egoistic. We feel bad that he's made some comment, or he didn't look at me, he ignored me, and all that. All these are our self-made perceptions. So if you want to come out of it, and that person may not have done it deliberately. Like you wanted to shake hand with somebody and he just turned away and started speaking to someone else. And then you come home and keep on thinking that 100 times repetitions in your mind. Why he ignored me or why she ignored me. It may not be deliberate, but it is troubling you so much. So be shameless. Fine.
Yeah, it happens.
Get opportunity to shake hand with such a celebrity. That should be the approach. Yes.
We should let it go. We should have that kind of
attitude all the time. Instead of letting it go is still, a process. Like you have to take effort of letting it go. How about being shameless? It doesn't affect you. Have you seen shameless people? They are a very, very seasoned breed. And they are one of the most important people in the world who make this world a better place to live in. Not everybody can, but over a time, if you start practicing it, then you'll find that you are the most happiest person in your. So in each family, there is one such person who's very, you do anything to that person and they will always take it positively.
Yes.
Usually you meet such type of people in some marriages. Yes.
Yes.
And last thing is, like, you can meditate. Some of the people find it very difficult. So I would say that at the end of the day, before retiring, you can meditate or read a book or listen to some soothing music so that you can forget all the bad memories. So the key is self-sympathy arises from memories, some incidents, and you cling to those incidents. So what I'm asking is, requesting is, just let it go, just be shameless, forget about it, and don't try to use that, or don't try to take it to your heart and remain in the. You should start a new journey immediately. Like success also shouldn't go to your head, because if I get success today, doesn't mean that I will be successful tomorrow. I have to work every day to get that success. Similarly, failure also is momentarily. It happened today, it may not happen tomorrow. If you practice properly, next day could be a successful day. So I'm just requesting that don't cling to failures as well as don't cling to successes. Move on.
Yo, wonderful message we have got from Dr. Kamaljeet Kaur. So this forum is open for our audience as well. So may I request any audience, if you want to ask any question from Dr. Kamaljeet, we have our guest here. So anybody wants to ask question?
Hi, Kamal. Happy to
Hi,
hear
Shravani.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah. One question: how to deal with this with the kids? Self-sympathy. Said they always try to find this right as a weapon to escape from the homework.
Yes, actually, you asked a very, very relevant question because kids are the, uh, most favorite people of sympathy. They want to gain sympathy. And why they want to gain sympathy? Because they saw that we give up when they give us some such excuses. My stomach is paining, so you will give them excuse from doing homework and all that. So you have to be firm as a parent. So what you can do is you said, okay, your stomach was paining. Why don't you take rest? And we will do this homework after an half an hour. And you can see that if it was a real, just an excuse, then they will start playing after some time. You can play that trick also. That do you want to watch TV and all that? And you will see that they are immediately in a
Very
comfort zone.
comfortable.
And then you can tell them that this is wrong. Okay, so you have to bring it to their notice, especially when you have two kids. It is possible. When you becomes a bit difficult to tell them that they are trying to gain sympathy, but you will have to tell them in a very, very bland way. Let me tell you what we do is, with children we do lot of sugar coating. Don't do that. We just be plainly explain what is the problem, what will happen. Like you can give them the story of, I have this at night I always tell story to my son, and I try to make a story around what has happened during the day, and he gets the lesson every day. So I try to, there are 3 4 characters in my story. There is one buffalo, and she has a best friend which is a goat, Sona, Hira, and then they have a farmer's girl who is always in
Yeah, very good
their
idea.
problem. So I use those characters. Yeah, those characters at night. I tell them that and tell how they did the same thing and how they were in trouble. Like once he said, I'm so fed up, I'm leaving this house. So night I told them a story that how Sona and Hira wanted to leave house. They went into a jungle, and then Hira was captured by the shepherds and they wanted to kill her. And then how Sona had to bring the villagers to rescue her. And then he realized that it could be so dangerous leaving the house. So you have to tell them such stories.
Yeah, very good idea.
So
I'll start telling this daily. I tell some stories, but
that's a
with what?
story
Yeah, I tell them with whatever knowledge
which
I
is
get in
based
the day.
on what they have done.
Yeah.
It should be based on your, and you become a very good storyteller, let me tell you. I was not a good storyteller. I became a good storyteller because of this. In fact, my husband says, why not record them so that somebody can write a children's book on those stories. Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Any other
What are
question?
stories for children? Anybody else want to ask question? Any more questions do we have? Yes, I think we don't have any more question. We have?
Yeah, excuse me.
Yes, Sanat.
Yeah, Dr. Kamaljeet, you explained like self-sympathy is actually going to like is actually going to sabotage our progress only, and it's not good for you. But it seems to be good for us because we are in our comfort zone. But if you want to communicate it to some other, like some friend, like even adults are habitual to have self-sympathy. So, and if we have some of our friends and or any adult, if you want to communicate to them that like enough of self-sympathy and now start working on it. So how do you communicate it?
Well, like since I was in HR for almost more than a decade, I faced lot of such problems where people gave me lot of excuses for not doing their work on time or for coming late and all that. So I always give them a patient listening, first of all. So your friends, first hear them out. And then when you understand, see it from the group also, like you are in a group and you find some person always making excuses. So you will have to be blunt with such people. Like I said, that even with our children we have to be blunt, where we have to tell them that, look, this is appearing more like you may not be doing it for seeking sympathy, but it is like appearing like you are trying to create sympathy, and this may not work because people behind your back are telling me that he is not a reliable person, like somebody comes late and like that, or somebody who promises to do something and doesn't do it. So we can give that example also, that you may not get this opportunity again because 2 times you have promised to do it, but you didn't fulfill the kept your word, so you won't get this opportunity again. So you have to be very, very firm when you are communicating that. Let me tell you, with our friends, we have that advantage of being what you call uh, frank, and whatever we want to say, we should all. I think I joined Toastmasters not for public speaking, but to give this sugar-coated feedback. Because what happens is, so many times I found that I was very blunt, and people used to then, stop talking to me. So then I came to Toastmasters only to learn this art of telling the same thing in a very sugar-coated way. So now the way I'm telling you, maybe if you would have asked me earlier, I wouldn't have in a position to say this in a sugar-coated way. I can tell it now because I now tell them that, people, you are not doing like this, but people are thinking that you are making excuses. You had those 2 genuine problems, but next time you do it, they are going to think that you are habitual in doing these things. So you have to say that as if some third person is telling it, and convey the same thing which you want to say. And then people may not take it to their heart. Because when you say this, that I feel you are so and so, they are not going to talk to you. So better say that so and so, and you need not take names, but you can say that the group fails and all that. He understands because he's doing it deliberately. So he will get the message. But I think we should always tell our friends who are trying to hide behind those things that actually this is going to not work. It's harming you, and it's delaying your progress only. So like in one of the, convincing one after 6 months. So I said, look, dear, if you think you would have got your job by now, you're still searching for the job. You would have got it in the placement cell only if you had those communication skills. And she immediately got convinced. So sometimes you have to tell them that how the past would have been, how the future. And people immediately understand that delaying won't work. Because if they prepone it, what is their advantage? People want to know only in the context of profit and loss. This is our life today. Even children think it that way, that what is there for them in that. So you have to project it in a way that how it profits them or how it will cause a loss to them. So then they will understand it. Otherwise, people are not interested in any gyan. They will say that I know so much. Why is he giving me gyan? And I really have a genuine problem. He doesn't understand. So they don't know that even we have a tough day, have an extended hour. We also have a family. Some people think that I'm not at all a family person, and that's why I can do so many things. But it's not like that. If you are living in a family, you have to behave like a family person, right? Otherwise, nobody would look. My husband would have divorced a long time back.
Yeah, actually, the communication itself, it's like if you speak bluntly to people, they might take it negatively. So only, yeah. So only that can be a concern.
Yes. See, the thing is, like right from each and every decision of yours, why you are not doing a particular thing, people will ask you that, okay, now those who are not married, people will ask, why are you not getting married? Why are you not getting married? As if they are going to run a family. Then you should have a very convincing this way. I am ready, but I am looking out for a wife who is, who would sleep while I'm studying. So then they will definitely understand what you're trying to say. So you can say, sorry, I don't have time now.
Hmm.
For that, I will definitely get married. So it's you are in your own journey, your timeline. Why should people get bothered about that you should have got married 7 years back? So
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
People start thinking everything from their perspective. So when you tell them things from their perspective, they will immediately understand what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
And try to get humor into that, so it reduces the impact as well as it definitely conveys your message.
Okay.
Right.
Got it. Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Welcome. You asked a very relevant question. Thank you for that, because so many times it's not we, all of us, you took out time and attended this, itself shows your commitment that yes, I want to learn something new and all that. But at the same time, people may not understand that what kind of packed schedule you have. And like, since I know you personally, I'm telling you that you are one of the most inspired person, and you are implementing it in every single way. So you can be an inspiration to so many of us. Like when I think that I will not attend today's meeting, then it reminds me of Sanat. You see, Sanat has more excuses than I have, but he is attending, so I should attend too. So we should inspire each other. When and the race competition should be healthy. And I love competition. I love to be in competition. I compete till my last. When people ask me, I would say I will compete till my last breath. There is no word like retirement in my life.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much for the kind words. And I must say, I also learned from you. You are also an inspiration for me.
Yes, we learn
Yes.
what is needed, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like I want to learn from Minu how she does all these videos and all that. I'm still new to it. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Any more question we have?
We have guest Rajiv. Can we have his introduction, please?
Good evening, Dr. Kamaljeet. It was nice listening to you. I am a sales professional. I'm an international sales professional. For the last 15 years, I've been looking after global markets for pharma machines. I have traveled to around 19, 20 countries till now. And I speak 4 languages, albeit a couple of languages which I'm still in the process of learning. I'm right now learning Arabic. I can speak in Spanish and Portuguese. And Minu is a good friend of mine, and she invited me to attend this talk. It was a nice talk given by you. In fact, most of it was resonating with whatever I've gone through in my life up until this stage. What I was probably lacking all this time was self-sympathy. I would only feel bad, but I think there's a thin line which separates feeling bad and feeling sympathetic to oneself. So I think I just have to do a 360-degree evaluation of myself to understand how I can really stop, pause, look, and then go next. So I think I have to start doing that after your talk. It's quite inspiring. Thank you so much for coming on this forum and telling us what it is to be self-sympathizing and what it is to sit back, relax, pause, think, and then take the next step. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Actually, you did such a wonderful summary of what we discussed right now. And so inspiring that you are learning so many languages. In fact, today only I got a full brochure translation of one Arabic, brochure. And I was wondering, somebody translated it from Google Translate. And it was such a funny translation that it would have been better if they would have just sent me Arabic as it is. Because most of the Arabic brochure talk about God also. So this person has translated it as it is. Whereas in an English brochure, we will not talk about sales brochure. We won't talk much about the God as such. But too much of God in that entire brochure has to know. Thank you. Maybe I will contact you if I.
I'm actually still a novice in terms of Arabic language, so I would not be
Yeah, I
able to do
understand.
justice to your assignment.
I understand. I
Yeah,
understand. I understand.
Right. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Wow. So we have wonderful session today, and we had really very knowledgeable and insightful thoughts about self-sympathy and how to get rid of it and how we can achieve, or we should achieve, what we want to, and we can have more success in our life than failure. And thank you so much, Dr. Kamaljeet, for being here and giving your thoughts upon this. And really, thank you so much. Let's catch up some other time for some other topic and giving your thoughtful inspiration here to our audience as well. Thank you so much.